Carthage must be destroyed. I'm going to show you guys how to apply even more Waterslide decals onto shields. Now, I've done a number of these videos in the past, but for every Kickstarter project, I like to do a new one just to not only showcase my Waterslide decals, but you know, just in case someone who might be new to Waterslide decals or interested in these has an idea on how I like to put them on and how to keep them on and keep them protected. So, I'm going to show you guys here first a number of these decals because why not? They're a bit hard to pick up because Hoplite shields are domed. So you can see here, this is what we're working with. I've painted the shields all first, and then I just, you know, apply them. So we had the sort of black sphinx there. We have a snake. We have this lovely, I'm gonna call him a sphinx as well. Sometimes I confuse the sphinx with a griffin. I think in this case they might all be some sort, that might be a griffin there, but they're some sort of sphinx, some sort of animal like that. And you can see they all turned out great. I have this chicken here, this Greek chicken. I always have a chicken in some form in my Waterslide decals. There's a chimera here. It's got a bit of a, I'm gonna have to paint over that, I think. I marked a bit of a brown on the side there, but that's not a big deal. I'll just get some white on it. And then I've got a, I don't know how to pronounce it, a trireme, I don't know. One of the Greek boats where they ram it. So, those are my shields there. Oh, I've got a trophy here as well. So these are this, I just put these ones on together, but I thought I'd do one more here for you guys because I should show you guys an application video. So let's take a look at how to do this. So all of these shields here, and this will work for any shield, any object. It doesn't have to be a shield. It could be like, you know, your side armor on a truck or a tank or something. But what you want is you want a painted surface. So I have a red Hoplite shield here. I've painted it, it's nice and red. I've done the back here. But what you do is what you painted the color you want it to do. And then what you're going to need after you've done painting is you'll want to, now you don't have to use all of these tools, but I like to use Citadel Lamian Medium, Citadel Art Coat. I like to use these with each other because this is a method that I learned a while ago that's supposed to protect these kind of Waterslide decals. You don't have to use this method. I put these Waterslide decals directly onto an object just using water. And they'll stick on fine, but this just kind of gives it an extra coat, an extra shine, and kind of protects it as well. So of course you'll also need water, which I have off to the side here in my old palette there that I keep using, and you'll need some scissors, and of course you'll need my Waterslide decals. So I've looked at my sheet here. I've got a whole bunch of different guys here. I'm gonna go with this Pegasus here with this nice golden mane. I'm gonna cut him out. So with my Waterslide decals, you don't need precision. You don't need to be a master cutter. You can simply just cut a square around the object without cutting any other image, like so, and look at that. He's gonna fall out there. You know, you can even give him a twist there like that, pop him out, so we have him like so. So what you're gonna do first is you're gonna do a water dunk with it. Now I like to use, and I'll change my camera to the side here, I like to put a paper towel down that's just damp, and I just put it in there and I let it sit for about 30 seconds. So let's just let that sit for now. Okay, now we're gonna go back to my object, and in this case we're gonna be looking at this Greek shield, right? So I've painted it there, and it's not done in the inside. I'll worry about that later. But this shield part, I've said, okay, that's pretty good. I'm gonna use it to put this decal on. Now, one thing I like to remind people not to forget when they're working with Greek shields, especially Victrix, they do have a backing that has, you know, a logical sense. It's not just blank on the back here. They have like a bar and a proper rope system. So don't, you know, you got to measure out where the guy's gonna have it glued to his hand. So he's gonna be glued like this. So when I put on the decal, I want to make sure my decal sits there. So if people look behind him, he doesn't have his shield upside down or on the, you know, hanging on the left. So these ones I always like to say first, before you put on anything, make sure you are putting it on so it makes sense to the back. If he didn't have all this backing and he could be whatever which direction, it wouldn't matter. But this particular shield does. So what I do first is I take Art Coat, give it a shake here quick. Art Coat is something that gives models and colors a bit of a, what it says, a hard coat. It gives it kind of a shine. Now, this here is going to act as kind of a basing medium instead of a shine. So the Waterslide decal has something more to cling to. And I mean, in this process, I don't have to worry what direction it is. So I'm just going to paint it on in the area that I think the shield decal will sit. And, you know, I'm just going to paint the almost the whole thing with that because we're going to apply Lamian medium on it later. But anyway, I put that on there. Great. And now, after that's done, wipe my brush off. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna, again, look on the back and say like, okay, the decal should follow a logical position based on this. And if I flip it like so, okay, I should put the decal on straight this way. Now, for this next step, I'll turn the camera here again. I don't have my tweezers on me, but you don't need tweezers necessarily. You can just MacGyver it with your own brush if you're very careful. Now, I might have to speed this up. Well, I dropped it there. You can see it's still durable, it's still working. But I guess let's do it the old way. Let's water slide it on. They're called water slides because they slide off the paper. Let's move them back here so I don't have to hold on the camera at the same time. But if you don't have tweezers, and I do recommend, I can't find mine now, but if you do have them, use them. You can just slide it off onto the shield and like so. It can fit like that. Now that looks nice, but remember I said let's make sure that it's following the right direction here. Let's tip them around this way. Okay, I think that's fairly close. I think that's pretty close to the thing there. Maybe we'll push him up. Now he's a Waterslide decal, right? And that extra hard coat in the water will allow him to slide around. So we're just gonna reposition him in a spot that we want him. So I'm gonna say something like this. And now these shields are domed, so you'll want to try and air out some of the spaces if anything popped. Unlike flat shields that will just stick on straight, sometimes the domes will give you a bit of a bump, but you can just gently run a brush through it and then they should pop out all of the curves. And there we go. We've got a nice Pegasus on this red and black shield. And I just gonna again flip him around. I think that looks pretty accurate. He should be straight enough. You know, I might have to twist him a bit maybe on the shield when I put him on there. Let's just check that. And I think that's good. Actually, based on that, I'm going to slide him this way. Yeah, use right my hands I put him on. Just use my hands to correct him. Get some of that water out of there. Okay, that's it. That's all you have to it. So that's that. And then we, you know, I just check it again, flip it around. Matches, I think, much better than before. There it is. So that's the first step of putting that on there. Now, what you should normally do is let the hard coat and the water dry so the decal itself will stick to it. But the next step, and I'm going to speed this up just to save some time here, is to apply a coat of Lamian Medium. Now, Lamian Medium is supposed to make the hard coat that you put on dull down a bit. I find it works all right. If anything, it gives it an extra coat of protection, the decal itself and the paint. But I would say if you have your own, you know, what's it called? Your own varnish in the end. I like using a dull coat varnish. If you have your own varnish in the end, that'll probably dull it down even more if you put a matte one on there. But you run the hard coat, or not the hard coat rather, you put the Lamian Medium gently around all the spots where the hard coat was and over top the decal. And I think he was on long enough that he won't slide anymore. I'm just being gentle here. But yeah, just like so. And that's it. And then when that dries, that'll be nice and crisp and we'll have a nice new decal. He's shiny right now, right? He needs a moment to dry. But when he's done, he's going to look like one of these lads here. And you can see there's a bit of shine here from the hard coat. Even though I put the Lamian Medium on, you can see a bit of a shine, but a matte varnish there will kill it all later if you don't like that. Otherwise, if you like a shine, that's, you know, not a bad thing. So yeah, that's how I apply my Waterslide decals onto my shields or objects or whatever it is. So I hope that you guys find that helpful. If you like the Kickstarter, hope you guys back it, and I would love to see in the end, if it's funded, all of your amazing work with your Greek hoplites or whatever other project you want to use. So thank you for watching. Have a good one.